Hey, how's it going? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about some potential winners of the 2021 NBA Summer League. So I'm going to be going to a few players and even one team that I think overall won the Summer League this year, and I think they're going to have some breakout players going into next season. So I'm going to be going to the best players in my opinion that played in the Summer League this year, and some players you might not be expecting, some players you may be expecting, and I pretty much go into all the players that I find most interesting and I feel like have the best chance to really break out going into next season or have a very good rookie season depending on the player. So I'm going to get into all this video. So if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe button. That would mean the absolute world to me. And I hope you like the video. I know this video is kind of late because the Summer League happened a while ago, but it's still a video I wanted to come out with. So that's why I'm making it so late. So I hope you still like the video. I hope you enjoy it. Hit the like button, subscribe button if you do at any point. And without further ado, without running on too much, let's get right into this video. So the first player I have for this video is going to be Bol Bol for the Denver Nuggets. Now the reason I have Bol Bol on here is because he absolutely balled out in the Summer League, but not only that, his whole story is just a very interesting story. Because if you were watching the NBA draft, when he was drafted, he was in the green room, he was expected to go in the lottery, and he didn't go till late second round, where the Denver Nuggets did finally select him and pick him up. But I mean, as a player that expects to go in the lottery, that could be very embarrassing and very demoralizing to be all suited up in a suit and tie waiting to be called your name, and your name just almost never gets called, and that can put a huge chip on a player's shoulder. And that is exactly what I think it did to Bol Bol, as really ever since he was drafted with the 44th overall pick, he has balled out in every chance he had to play in real games. In the G League he played very good and showed that he was an NBA worthy player, and now in the Summer League he absolutely balled out, as he averaged the 6th most points per game at 21.7, and he also is able to provide 6.3 rebounds per game and 2.3 blocks per game on 40% shooting from the 3 on 5 attempts per game. And now 40% is good from anyone, but when you're getting it from your 7'1" big man, that even adds even more like just uniqueness to that and shows you how good he could be. Because the reason I liked him in the draft was because he's a tall guy, lengthy guy, 7'2", very tall. He can dribble the ball and he can shoot, and there's not many players that can do that, and he could kind of fit into that new unicorn type role that more and more NBA teams are starting to look for. And then I think for sure Bol Bol showed he can still do that, as at 7'2", shooting 40% from the 3 on a lot of attempts per game, plus being able to dribble, plus still being able to get rebounds, and being able to be a very good rim protector. You cannot ask for much more out of your center position than that. If your center can shoot, dribble, play defense, and grab boards, that's all you can ask your center to do, and Bol Bol provides all of that. So if he gets a little bit stronger, he gets a little bit more experience under his belt, and hopefully the Denver Nuggets give him more opportunity going into the season, I think Bol Bol could come out of this Summer League as a ginormous winner. Now the second winner I have for this video is going to be Obi Toppin. Now Obi Toppin was one of my favorite players out of last season's draft. I loved him. I thought he was a great player. He was a power forward size player that could do everything a guard can while having the athleticism of someone like Russell Westbrook. So when you have a power forward who can shoot, dribble, protect the rim fairly well, and is an elite athlete, that is always going to be a very interesting prospect to look at. And Obi Toppin, although not getting many opportunities last season in his rookie year, mainly because of the resurgence of Julius Randle and him becoming a star, well, I think for sure Obi Toppin just got himself a lot more minutes going into this season, and he will for sure be at least the future backup power forward and center for years to come in like small ball play for him to be a backup center, or he's just going to stay the backup forward and maybe being a starting power forward if they ever put Randle at center to play small ball, which I would be interesting to see, but I think he's going to be more of a backup 4. But with him being as good as he was the Summer League, I cannot see a situation where Obi Toppin does not get to play, as he was able to average 21 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, 1.3 steals per game on 34% shooting from the 3, which is absolutely elite from a year 2 power forward who just didn't get any opportunity going into last season. Now yes, he did get some opportunity obviously, but he was not enough minutes to really see what you got in him, and he still had good flashes. So I think for sure Obi Toppin's going to get many more minutes, much more opportunity, and for sure could have a breakout season going into next season. But now for the third player I have on this list, I have Jaylen Johnson. Now the reason I have Jaylen Johnson on this list is going to be because I just love him coming into the draft. I loved him going into it thinking he was going to be one of the steals of the draft. I loved how athletic he was. I thought he could play the 1 through the 4 position. position. I thought he was a very, very good prospect coming into the NBA, and I loved him, and a lot of people weren't that high on him and didn't have him going in the lottery because he left college early, I guess, but I personally love Jaylen Johnson. The biggest hurting thing on him was that he couldn't play in a half-court offense, which I disagree with. I do think he can play with a half-court offense. I just think he didn't have to do it with Duke, so I do think Jaylen Johnson is going to be a very, very good player in this league, and he is probably my favorite rookie, or at least one of my favorite rookies in this entire draft class. So this year, I definitely think for sure that Johnson is going to absolutely ball out going into next season, because just as a rookie, he showed in the summer league he is that dude. As in the summer league, he averaged 19 points per game, 9.5 rebounds per game, 1.3 blocks per game, and 2.3 assists per game on 57% shooting from the field and 41% shooting from the three-point line. So when a young guy, especially a rookie, is shooting that efficiently, playing at the small forward position, that is undeniably valuable. If you can get someone that can score you around 20 points, more realistically in the NBA, it'll probably be around 13, 15 points a game in his rookie year, but if he can shoot around 50% and around 39% from the three-point line, that is an extremely valuable player and definitely someone that has star level potential, and Atlanta may have just gotten their second star that they needed to pair with Trae Young in this draft. And also something Jaylen Johnson can do, he can grab rebounds and play wing defense, which will help Trae Young tremendously, because Trae Young, although being a great offensive player, is a very, very lackluster defensive player, and Jaylen Johnson can do both on both sides. So hopefully he can still dish in around 15 points per game while also being able to guard their best player on the perimeter to take some of that pressure off of Trae Young, and I think for sure they should be able to play off of each other very, very well. But now for my next person in this video is going to be Cameron Thomas for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, Cam Thomas is someone who I was intrigued by going into the draft, but wasn't sure on, because he's an undersized player who obviously had tons of offensive potential, but I just didn't know how it would translate due to the high volume he took with LSU. Plus him being younger, plus he might not be the best defender, but the dude just won co-MVP for Summer League. Now, I'm still not putting too much stock into Cam Thomas, but he went from being someone that probably was going to be G League bound for sure and might not make the roster to for sure making the roster, and most likely will at least be signed to the roster for the Brooklyn Nets, maybe as one of the last players or as a starter for their G League team. But he definitely helped himself a ton in this Summer League, and Cam Thomas probably really helped out his career with how good he played in the Summer League, and I think for sure maybe by the end of this season could be contributing in a bench role for the Brooklyn Nets as a nice offensive player off the bench, and it's going to be very interesting to see how much he did help his career with how good he just played in the Summer League. And now for my second to last player on this list is going to be Jalen Smith, which is the rookie the Phoenix Suns picked in last year's draft. And now Jalen Smith is someone, not gonna lie, didn't do much research in going into last year's draft on him, and the Suns picked him fairly high, and it was pretty surprising for a lot of players, or a lot of people around the league, and including myself. And Jalen Smith barely played last season and was kind of a disappointment player, because he would have helped a ton in the finals if he would have lived up to what the Phoenix Suns drafted him for. But in the Summer League this season, he absolutely showed out. He was grabbing boards, blocking shots, scoring points. He was doing everything that the Suns probably wanted to see, and played way above my expectations for him going into the Summer League. And I think for sure maybe he could see himself becoming that lottery player that the Suns wanted him to be, and really maybe making huge strides and actually contributing to the team, which would be huge for the Suns, because one of their biggest problems last year was they had no one to back up DeAndre Ayton. And if Jalen Smith can get to where he is good enough to be at least a backup center this year, he would be contributing hugely for this team, and it would go a very, very long way, because the Suns' biggest problem, like I said, was a backup center. And now that they have maybe Jalen Smith, and maybe he can make strides and develop into the player they drafted him to be, well, that could help this Phoenix Suns team out immensely. And now the final team actually I have for this video is going to be the Sacramento Kings. The Kings got another possibly star young guard to go with their many already young guards. Now, what I think is going to happen, they're probably going to trade Buddy Hield and go with like a De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton. All three of them are going to start at the same time. Then have Marvin Bagley and probably whoever they play at center. Honestly, it doesn't matter. They don't have anyone that good at center this year. And then The 5 position is still a question mark, but if they can roll out a lineup of Fox, Mitchell, Halliburton, and Marvin Bagley, then like I said, whoever they put at the 5, that could be a very scary team and maybe even potentially a playoff team. Because in my opinion, Davion Mitchell, even going into the draft, I loved him. I wanted the Pelicans to draft him. Unfortunately, we didn't, but they did get Trey Murphy, but that's for, so I'm not going to get in that tangent. But I thought the Kings got a very nice player. Now, a lot of people actually hated on that for some reason, but in my opinion, I thought for sure that the Kings got a very nice player, and that's what they did. So now I think they have 3 very good young guards. They're going to trade Buddy Hield, maybe get a center, and now you have a very nice starting lineup of whoever they trade for and maybe get a center, plus 4 very young guys with tons of potential. So I think for sure the Kings could be a kind of dark horse playoff team going into next season and will be one of the more funner teams to watch. And now an honorable mention is going to be Luka Garza, and this is kind of to like rub my own back because I was one of the only people who loved Luka Garza going into the draft. Okay, he reminds me of Nikola Jokic. Now, Nuggets fans, I'm not saying he's Jokic. Calm down. I'm just saying I think potentially Luka Garza could be a very good player in this league. He's one of those slower big men who, like 3 years ago, before Jokic became very good, honestly, I wouldn't have thought Luka Garza was going to be any good going into the draft. But now that we've seen with Nikola Jokic that type of player can be good, a smart, slow big man that can kind of shoot, just very smart, can actually have great impacts on the team, I think for sure that the Luka Garza could be a very nice player for Detroit. Now, I've seen Detroit Pistons fans like kind of shitting on that pick, but I love that pick for them, and I think he might contribute to them very, very early, and I'm going to be focusing a ton on Luka Garza and what he does in the G League, and then what he does in the NBA if he does get that opportunity this season. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be for this video. So comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that these players won the Summer League? Who do you think I missed? Who do you think should have been in here? Our thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like the video, at any point, hit the like button and subscribe button. That would mean the absolute world to me. And I hope you have a blessed day. Can I have a blessed day? So you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.